This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Whitmer here, and welcome into another edition of the Wrecking Crew right here on MVP Sports. I am joined, as I always am, with my co-host, Tim. Tim, how we doing today?
Doing great, man. Doing great. I'm happy to be here on a Wednesday night. A little off schedule, but yeah. Hoping that we can do a little bit better than we're doing against the Braves currently. Windy down here in Chicago, but seems nice down there.
So,
how are you doing?
I am doing great. I'm checking something right now because I kind of forgot that we're not on the entertainment channel, that we're on the actual channel. Actually, did I sign into the right one? Yeah, I signed into the right one. So might have went black there. YouTube might have done something weird. I wanted to make sure I'm on the right channel, that we're on the right one. But doing fine. I'm thrown off. It's a Wednesday. Usually do this on Saturdays.
True.
The reasoning why, and we're not going to give all the details, but I do like to let people know is
we're gonna get married this weekend. You can tell them. Dude, it's all right.
I pronounce you Chuck and Larry. We're gonna do it. Like my girlfriend's not gonna be
So
happy.
we're going away for a little bit. This is a big announcement.
But no. Tim is going away on the weekend. I am booked as my girlfriend is coming in to visit, so we'll have about this much time. Tim, I'm actually going to be in enemy territory on Saturday.
No kidding.
Going to the Sox-Orioles game, and I will probably be betting on the Orioles that day. And
that's
rooting on the Baltimore Orioles. That is enemy territory, dude.
I thought you meant a little more south than that.
Oh, no. I'm not going to St. Louis. Is that what you were talking about?
That's the enemy territory.
Well, Comiskey is also enemy territory, dude.
Unless they're good.
I'm gonna do what I usually do, and I'm just gonna wear any black T-shirt I got to kind of fit in incognito, while we're enjoying the game. Very good tickets. I'm happy to go, and hopefully watch the Baltimore Orioles get a win.
That should be fun.
It will be. I hope it is. I hope it is. She wanted to go to a White Sox game, and she's like, "Do I need a White Sox shirt?" Were my exact words, Tim, and these were
no one's
like,
gonna notice.
Well, 50-50 joking, 50-50 not. I said, "You wear a White Sox shirt, this is over."
Ooh.
She was joking. I was joking, but that's the kind of humor we have.
Lifelong Cub fan here, folks.
I'm sorry. They're White Sox, Cardinals, Packers, Bears. Like these are the teams you cannot wear or support if you're going to be with me. Those are just a couple of the few. Yankees. I've never really liked the Yankees. I've softened on that a bit because of my friendship with Jake, and like I want my friends to be happy with their sports teams. But yeah, it's just these are the teams that if you're going to root for me. Also, off topic, Tim, can I take a victory lap here at the beginning of the podcast?
Sure. Guess
who's struggling for the Vikings right now? Would have never guessed JJ McCarthy, but that's not why we're here. That's not why we're here. I'm just upset about it, Tim. I'm very upset on this Wednesday. But we're talking Cubs. We're going to be talking Cubs today. Before we get into everything, Discord down below, Patreon down below. You can support us. You can join the Discord. All of our socials are down below. You can get us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and also hit that like button. I hear it helps with some word called the algorithm. You can hit that subscribe button if you want to come
rhythm,
back.
I've heard of that, bro.
The LG rhythm. And comment down below. Let us know what you guys think, because, Tim, I have a question about the Cubs. I would hope so. As we are recording right now, I'm going to say some very bad news. And that bad news is through 6 innings, I believe. No, it's broken. Cool. I said it. It's broken. Through 6 innings, through 5, we were getting perfect gamed. We are no longer getting perfect gamed. So that is good.
Yeah, well, we haven't broken it quite open just yet. You know?
I mean, we got a hit. We're not gonna.
We've got to hit. We got to hit on a second. So we're talking about the current game right now against the Braves
happening on Wednesday.
in Chicago tonight, Wednesday the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ian Happ is on second base. Broke up the perfect game that Max Fried was pitching. But again, I think you said this last week. You know that Max Fried is that guy that's just gonna. Even if we have Justin Fields out there, Justin Steele. Oh my God! You started talking football. It got in my head. I said Justin Fields.
Justin Steele has not been pitching well. I believe, yes, wins and losses, you can kind of like throw them out the windows with starters, but we have lost every single game of the last 5 games he's pitched. So like,
I think it goes back further than that, actually.
He has not been pitching well this season. But here's my concern, Tim, with this Cubs team.
Doesn't mean that, by the way.
Oh, no.
He was in the Cy. That streak goes back to last year, and he was in the Cy Young.
But I'm saying this year he has not pitched well, and I know he had the injury after opening night. Maybe that's kind of thrown some things off. Overall, this year he has not been the same Justin Steele.
He's had 5 starts. Would we say?
Yeah, 5 starts this year, I believe, or this would be his 6th. That's not my question, though. We've talked about the bullpen enough. We're going to talk about the bullpen again today. I have a question about this team. Because we're slumping, and I kind of knew we were going to slump because, Tim, when we make our predictions later for the weeks ahead, we're actually going to make them from, I believe it's like Saturday or Sunday on, even though we're recording on Wednesday, because these games right now fit into our last prediction. Last podcast, if you guys didn't listen, I said the Cubs were going to go 6-7. 6-7 coming into our next podcast. If we lose tonight, or basically, how do we do this? We got to win. If we lose tonight, win the next 2, we're 6-7. If we lose tonight, win the next 2, we are 6-7. Mm-hmm. And this team has been slumping. I kind of knew this team or felt like this team was going to slump the last 2 weeks. But here's my question. We're not the only team slumping. There is a team ahead of us in the standings, and for the past 2 or 3 podcasts, Tim, we have been a game back, a half a game back, a game and a half back of the Brew Crew, the team just north of us, who wants to, who they want to be in the Chicagoland area. No, you're not.
Wrigley
You're
North,
from
baby.
You're from Wisconsin. You're not from Chicago. But the Brewers, since our last podcast, Tim, they took 2 of 3 against the Cardinals. Not a big achievement. The Cardinals suck right now. And they took
we'll see this weekend.
And they took 2 of 3 against the Pirates, which I guess is an accomplishment because we couldn't do that the last time we played them at home. They took 3 of 4 against us. However, the Brewers against a Houston team they're getting better, but they're not quite that Houston team that your daddy may know. They got swept by Houston, and now against Miami, that series just ended tonight. They lose tonight. They go 1-2 against the Miami Marlins, who are one of the 3 worst teams in baseball. Tim, should Cub fans be concerned or a little worried about this divisional race as the season goes on? Because it seems like the Cubs are not capitalizing when this red-hot Brewers team starts to slump.
My gut tells me no. Mm-hmm. I haven't really been concerned about other teams in the division. Mm-hmm. And that might be an arrogance that I have about this team. Mm-hmm. And it may just be a symptom of being, too early in the season. Yeah. Well, everybody's going to say that about any prediction we have to make until, July, So, that's always a nice crutch for me to lean on in these conversations. But no, I don't. Milwaukee doesn't. Milwaukee having this slump coinciding with our slump, I would say, is kind of more of a blessing than anything else. I do get your point of damn, it'd be really nice if we could capitalize on their slump with some wins, especially over another division team, the Pirates, who are considered bottom of the division, 4th. No,
they're 3rd now. They have jumped the Cardinals. Pirates are 3rd in the division.
But a beatable team, not just in the division.
We shouldn't have gone 1-3 against them.
No, it was just that was really disappointing.
Because in those games it was we had the 5-4 loss, then the 9-3 loss, then the 1-0 win, and then the 3-2 loss. So what? Two of those games decided by one run.
Two of them that scored a lot of runs too on us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's embarrassing. It's disappointing. It's all that stuff. So we'll have to see what we can do, how to make it up against St. Louis before our 4-game stretch against Milwaukee comes up too. That's the thing.
And you want to know something funny that I forgot about?
I'm really, really liking this staying in division right now because it's really making it interesting. Yeah.
Here's the thing that I wanted to point out that I found funny that I forgot about. The only game of the home stretch we had against the Pirates, the only win that was, I remember this now that I looked at the score. I remember going into that game and thinking, because I bet on the Cubs that game. I'm like, dude, Shota's pitching. He's pitching amazing. We're gonna beat the Pirates today. We're gonna turn this slump around. We won that game, Tim. We won 1-0, and I forgot we scored that run in the bottom of the ninth. It was a 0-0 game through the whole thing.
Yeah. Who ended up getting the win that game?
We did. Thank you, Morel.
No, who ended up getting the win?
Morel. Bader got the loss. Neris got the win.
That's right.
Bednar got the loss. Neris got the win.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, so I do like what you're saying of like maybe this Brewer slump could be seen more as a blessing than a curse, or more than a blessing than unfortunate, because let's be completely honest.
I think it's not. I'm not trying to turn into a positive. I'm trying to look at glass half full type.
And that's it. I like it.
Yeah.
Because you look at, so I'm going to take me for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last podcast, I was like, we're going to go 6-7 at best. I didn't think we were going to have a winning record these next 2 weeks, mainly because of Atlanta. Like those were the two series. And yet again, we only took 1 of 3 from them in Atlanta. If we lose tonight, we're split with them with a chance to the rubber match tomorrow between us before we take on the Cardinals. It may be a blessing in the sense of, thank you that the Brewers got swept by the Astros and only took 1 against the Marlins, because if they wouldn't have, Tim, if they would have swept the Marlins, this wouldn't be if we lose tonight, it wouldn't be a 1-game deficit. It should be like a 2-3 game. We should be 2 or 3 games behind them instead of just 1.
Yeah. Right.
Or 1.5. Whatever.
And that's the way, somebody in the front office should think.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm just a simple fan over here going, hopefully, we can just keep our head above water here. But, you're thinking, why don't we put the boot to these guys' throats while they're down?
Well, here's the thing, and this is what
all I'm saying is we're going to have that opportunity in about a week.
When do you think in a week I was going to ask you, when do
it's less than that. Way less than that.
When do the Cubs finally jump and get ahead of them? Because the next time we play Milwaukee is...
Before we podcast next.
The next time we play Milwaukee will be the May 27th. So starting Memorial Day through the 30th. We have a 4-game series in Wrigley North.
That's when we jump them.
You think so?
Yes.
Let's see. Who do they play in between? So we finish up Atlanta, and then we've got St. Louis in St. Louis. The Brewers, before they play us next, they will start. So they're off tomorrow when we play game 3. So they're off tomorrow. They're traveling from Miami to Boston. They'll play Boston over the weekend before they play us. They'll then welcome us in for 4, and then the White Sox in for 3. So they'll get the full Chicago treatment.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of those are what I think. I think I got a lot of confidence in our boys for that one.
Well, because that's the thing.
And I think they're all really ready for that series.
Well, Because that's the thing. When we played Milwaukee already, we took 2 of 3 against them. Because we played them at the beginning of May. It was a weekend series. We took 2 of 3.
You're right. We did.
Yeah, we took.
I don't know why I had to question you on that. I apologize.
We lost game 1. We won the second 2. So it's like, hi, everybody. Just want to take a quick moment out of today's podcast to tell you about our sponsor for today, BETUS, a sports book that has it all, whether it's basketball, hockey, football, soccer, whatever you like to bet on, BETUS has you covered. And they are offering our viewers and listeners today a 125% sign-up bonus just for using our link down below in the description. So go ahead, use that link down below and get your 125% sign-up bonus, BETUS. And now, let's get back to the podcast. I agree with you. I'm not like, this isn't like we need to fear the Brewers. I wonder with this team, with this Cubs team, is this what, and I know people are going to be yelling at the computer screen that it's a long season. I get it. But if we didn't talk about this, we'd have nothing to talk about.
It's true.
I want to see from the Cubs a long stretch of good play. I feel like right now it was like okay play, good play for 2 weeks. That week that I was right where we just ran through everyone.
Sure.
And then this week where it was like, we're kind of like limping by. We're 500 where it's like, I want to see an extended streak, extended podcasts where it's like, oh, the Cubs are winning here. The Cubs are winning here. The Cubs are winning here.
You're talking now 6 weeks of winning baseball. That's
no, not legendary. 6, but at least like 2, maybe 3. That is like, and that's hard to do. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's like
very hard to do. Like, very hard to get on a 10-game win streak.
Like, what I would, exactly. I would love for the Cubs to be able, and I'll ask you this: can this Cubs team do? Like there are 2 teams I think of right now, and I'll pull up their schedules. The first one, I'm taking credit for, Tim. I am taking full credit for this win streak that they have, because me and you broadcasted the Cub Pirate game about 2 weeks ago, and I talked all the garbage in the world about the Colorado Rockies. They're one of the worst teams in the league. Look at their record. Tim, they went on like an 8-game win streak after I said that. They rattled off an 8-game win streak. These were the games. So we recorded that. They were already on a 2-game win streak as that went in. And then they beat Texas. They swept the Padres, and then finally got swept by the Giants. They were on a 7-8-game win streak. Someone go down? Someone get hurt?
There was a collision between Steele and Wisdom at a ball in between pitcher and first.
2 guys that have been injured. Are they both down?
They're taking Steele out. He doesn't look hurt. Okay. They didn't have a doctor come look at him. He looks fine. So they just kind of hooked feet and a run scored. So it's 3-1 right now.
Yet again, Steele getting injured during a start. Second time that's happened.
I didn't say that. I said
no. I'm saying second time. I'll say this. Second time he's had a collision-like play or a play where something has happened and he's had to come out of a start early because of questions. Because remember the first one, he
just gave up a run. It looked like a normal way to take him out. I know what you're saying. I'm just making. It wasn't quite that. It was just kind of good timing.
Back to the main conversation though.
Yes, of course. Sorry.
It was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a 7-game win streak. They swept the Rangers, swept the Padres in that streak. Yes, they went back to being the Rockies. They've lost 4 heading into tonight, but I want the Cubs to be like that. More so, I want the Cubs to be like what the Twins were like. The Twins, huge questions for me because they were one of the hottest teams in baseball. Basically, from April 22nd all the way until May 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They were on a 12-game win streak, Tim. Now, since that loss, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've only won 7 since then. They're like 2-8 in their last 10 coming into today when they beat the Nationals to win that series. But like, that's what I want from this team. The only question is, I believe in our hitting to be able to win those games. I don't believe in our pitching. I think now, yet again, the hitting isn't perfect. Like, that Twins team was crushing the ball, absolutely killing the ball when they were hitting. We are not that. But I think my worry more is on the pitching than the hitting being the reason why we're not going to have a streak like that anytime soon.
That's totally fair. I mean, we all know that
because I said hitting and you made a face like, oh, maybe our hitting's not that good.
But yeah, maybe it's not, but it's still better than our pitching. I mean, like we're an offensive driven team right now. Look at our ace. He's sitting there on the
Shota.
Nah, I'm not gonna make fun of him.
He's our ace. Shota.
No, I was talking about Steele.
Oh. Shota's gonna become our ace by mid-season. You know that, right?
Already is. Yeah.
He already is.
They brought in Quas.
Yeah, you don't like Quas.
Let's see what he does.
But do you think the Cubs have that in them? Is basically what I'm asking.
Any team does. I mean, that's such a hard question. It's such a hard question to answer because, like, if you want to base it on Craig Counsell, yeah, probably. Counsell's been responsible with teams that have done that in the past. But if you want to base it on what we've seen so far in the first 2 months, no, I don't think so. So it's really difficult. But, like, that kind of streak doesn't really matter if you're still just winning series. Just win 2 out of 3. Every time you go out there, just try to win 2 out of 3. At least win 1. Statistically, everybody tells you at least if you win 1, be a good team.
Yeah. But
I mean, obviously win some series, but
yeah,
as long as you're not, I didn't mean just going 1-3. You're going to be a winning team. But
no, I get what you're saying. And Tim, moving over into some news about the Cubs. You said that now. Let me take this correct. You don't want to take a victory lap on this podcast, or you do want to take a victory lap on this podcast? Because Kyle Hendricks is going to the pen.
Huh. What? Huh. It's like almost like 10 weeks ago I called it.
Point for Tim.
Point for me.
So it was funny because today, like, I was hanging out with Jake.
Wasn't it obvious though at this point, right?
Yeah, we were mentioning it for about 2 podcasts now.
Yeah.
that Tim, when I heard the news, my reaction was, yeah, okay, like, yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
Right. Yeah. If it happened, it happened 4 weeks ago, right after I said it, would have been. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people have probably thought the same thing I had.
So
I will pat myself on the back. I did call it. So that's me. That's Hendricks to the pen. Now it's not as significant.
Yeah.
And if he's gonna be a guy that can spot start and eat up innings, that's perfect for his role. This goes back to last week or last podcast. Who's stepping in for him? Because I remember you proposed that question to me.
Yeah. So
we were talking about Assad and we were talking about Wicks, we were talking about Ben Brown, and we were talking about Hendricks.
Because I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, I'm trying to remember what I said. Shota's in the lineup. Steele's in the rotation.
Taillon.
I'm not taking Taillon out, even though he's had kind of a questionable, like, not questionable to take him out, but he hasn't been as strong.
Yeah, but I think you said Wicks too.
Wicks too.
And then you said Ben Brown.
Ben Brown is who I would realistically like to be starting there. Realistically. Have they announced who they're putting in the rotation in front of him?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, let me look at this article really quick, because I was going to bring up that Counsell said that Thursday, and you kind of alluded this to me before we started recording, that Thursday, so tomorrow as we're recording this on, we're recording Wednesday. By the time you guys hear this, the game will already be started on Thursday probably. He says that Thursday will be somewhat of a bullpen game, and the team will go from there. More quote is he said the goal still is to get Kyle on track to get him back in the rotation. That's absolutely what I'd like to do.
He has to say that. Yeah, that's my first inclination is to say he has to say that.
Also, we have a quote from Jed Hoyer. As it said here, Pittsburgh tagged Hendricks for 8 runs, 7 earned, and 11 hits in 4 2/3 innings on Friday, and Counsell conceded the Cubs certainly need better after that outing. Here's the quote from Jed Hoyer. From a team standpoint, we're always trying to pinpoint what gives us the best chance to win short-term and long-term. With Kyle, I think he's had some success first time through the order, and then after that, it's gotten pretty dicey. Exactly what you've been saying.
Much exactly like what I've been saying, but so let's keep him having just 2 innings, 3 innings. Don't let him go for it.
And that's why, I find it funny how you say, oh, Craig has to say that. Because
Craig has to say that.
Because let's be honest, the best thing, and I will say this now, the best thing for the Cubs is to not have Kyle Hendricks anywhere near this rotation. Probably for the rest of the year.
While I just brought up last week's podcast when we were talking about this, and a major point we talked about was if Assad would take it as a demotion or take it as a grown-up,
Kyle Hendricks is now in that position.
This has got to help. It's like, well, look what Kyle did.
Yeah.
Kyle's the last guy.
He's a World Series champion.
He's the last guy on the team that's a World Series champion. After David Ross left.
Yep.
He's the last guy, and he's going.
Is he truly the last guy on this team?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Edwards is gone, but
yeah, I don't think. No, I don't think
he's the guy.
You're right. Yeah, he might be the last one from that World Series team.
And if that guy's he can take it in stride and take it,
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Again, you got to turn that game off.
I'm turning it off.
You got to turn it off. We're gonna get off topic if Tim's reacting to the game. Tim,
it's 7-1.
Tim, put it this way. Knew this game was going to be a loss. We're moving on. We're on to tomorrow.
Yeah,
we move. You're right. But with Hendricks, I know Craig has to say what he said, but I think that Kyle.
You think
Hendricks,
he means it also?
What?
You think he means it also?
No, I think that he doesn't mean it, and I think that he shouldn't mean it because the best thing for this team is for Kyle Hendricks to be in the bullpen. I don't
100% agree.
I don't think Kyle Hendricks is a starter anymore.
No, me neither.
At the beginning of the season, I wanted to give it let's see.
But he still has value
or not. He does, but here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking right now, and you can tell me if I'm wrong.
I probably won't. I agree with everything you're saying.
I'm thinking, get him in the bullpen. If he's good one way through the lineup, hopefully he can be a guy that we either throw into a tough situation, hey, it's a 1-run game. I need you for the 6th, or I need you for the 7th. I don't know. The only question I have for him is how is he going to do in dirty innings? Meaning when, hey, run hasn't scored yet, but I need you to come in. There's runners on 2nd and 3rd, and I need you to close the door. I don't know if he's that guy. But but if he could be a guy to where it's hey, starter's been struggling. I'm going to put you in the 5th. I need you to eat up 3 innings for me. I need you to go once through the lineup.
Yeah.
Aye, Captain, I can do that. He needs to be that guy. And then what we can do is either assess it of hey, does he have value in the bullpen and we want to keep him? Or has he been doing enough to where people are calling and then we want to flip him for a different bullpen arm? Is that what you were going to say? Is that what you were going to say?
Exactly. There's nothing to add to that.
Is Kyle Hendricks eventually going to get traded?
Bingo!
Is he eventually going to get traded, Tim? Is that what this is leading to?
No. What
that World Series team is gone?
You know what is ideal, Ricky?
Go ahead.
You know where this ideally leads to?
Yeah.
Because Kyle Hendricks is a 34-year-old man.
Yes.
Old in sports athletes' ages, not quite so much in pitchers in baseball.
Yeah.
What his role could resemble right now is what the latter half of Tim Wakefield's career looked like.
Long reliever out of the pen.
Long reliever, dependable. You're starting that 10th inning. You don't know if this is going to stay tied for a long time, and you need somebody to maybe eat up some innings. That's the guy.
Also, got to say,
Assad gets a bruised thigh muscle 2 hours before the game. We need a spot start. We got Kyle Hendricks.
Yep.
We got the doctor.
But
what do they call him? The professor, I'm sorry.
But if he's spot starting, you're only going one time through the lineup. We're only using it for 3, and then it'll
probably.
Be
but that sounds like what Craig Counsell is saying when he says Thursday is going to be a bullpen. Also, I think that is not on the schedule, and that's supposed to be. Never mind, it is on the schedule. I apologize. I think about last week. He's joining, and I want to be one of those guys in the bullpen, sitting on a chair next to Kyle Hendricks during the first 6 innings of the game, just learning from him. What do you do when you're going through guys on the third time around? You know, just I don't ever really play into the mentorship of a player because I think that's kind of forced and video game-esque. But this instance, I think, man, he could teach 6-7 guys.
See, but like
what he knows.
So you're basically saying he could be what Papa Ross was to Tony Rizzatoni.
Yeah,
because there is mentorship there. Like we know from what Rizzo has said that Ross was a huge mentor to him. Yeah,
but if they want to do it,
like it's not.
You can't tell a guy to go be that guy's mentor.
Yeah, I'm going to say that it's not like football. Where like football, we talk all the time like, oh, this starting quarterback mentor to the young kid. No, I'm gonna teach you to take my job. It's not one of those things.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Where it's like that's where it's forced and cute and video game like. Yeah. To where it's like, oh yeah, I can just set the setting to where this guy's gonna teach this guy. No, what if they hate each other?
Yeah, exactly. But like, so then you don't think this ultimately, like this season, it ultimately leads to Hendricks getting traded. It just is him moving to a mentor role.
Didn't say that.
Okay.
I think it's 50-50, to be honest with you. And the better he pitches, the higher the chances are of him being traded.
Do you have an idea, or is it too early to think about what teams? Let's say he pitches well in the bullpen. He fits that long reliever role that you're talking about. Are there any teams out there to where you're like, this team will be calling? This team will be calling?
Just based on what I've seen on around the league, or based on like my gut?
Anything. Either or. I like your gut, so yeah.
My gut tells me that he's either going like other league or he's going in division.
Okay.
That just seems like it. That's how it always happens.
In division,
he might be a red by the end of the year. You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it could be anybody. He could be a Giant. You know, he could be a Diamond. It's all about the right package. What are we looking? What are we going to be lacking at the end of July?
Yeah.
You know, are we going to be in the dog days of summer, or at least starting them? And we've got injuries. We've got guys that are not producing off the bench. What do we do?
We don't need the dog days of summer, Tim. We already have injuries.
Are we still talking about beefing up the bullpen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we maybe need some starter help? Who have we got coming up from the minors at that?
Right now, Cade Horton's the big guy. He's the one that we talked about him last week. Go check that conversation out. Right.
Does Matt Shaw make an appearance this year? You know, it's like there's all these things. Is Matt Shaw a trade piece? There's the questions. The questions I could ask you, Richard.
I just like, and that's what I think. Like right now, we're like I'm gonna say it again. We're early in the season. I hope that Kyle does well in the bullpen. I hope he does well in the bullpen to where it's like, hey, we're going to keep you here. Not, okay, we're going to try you out starting again. Because I agree with you in the sense of those days are gone, Kyle. Jed Hoyer needs to have a Billy Bean discussion. Hey, from the movie, even though it was Hollywoodized, he's got to have that David Justice moment. Hey, David, those days are behind you, buddy. I
need you doing something else.
I need you. This is the Chicago Cub Hendricks I need.
We love Moneyball here.
Love Moneyball. Did you know, by the way, and I don't know if I said this on the podcast. If I did, I'm sorry, that apparently the one thing that the actual players on an A's team don't like about the movie is apparently they all love the manager, and the manager was the nicest guy in the world, and they hate how he was depicted in that movie because he was the bad guy.
Yeah.
You needed a bad guy, though.
Yeah. I still like how the character.
Also,
it's a good movie.
Also, and this is for everyone out there, you know the head scout when they were doing the
real scout,
when he points to him. He was not a real scout. He was a real ball player, played baseball, went into, I think, scouting. But you want to know the truth, the real nugget that made his casting absolutely perfect? He is one of the people that believes Moneyball ruined baseball. So he, as a real person, hates Moneyball, and he was playing someone who hates the vision of what Moneyball is. That is perfect casting. Perfect casting.
Okay, boomer.
Oh, Tim, last thing before we make some predictions here. Little front office section here. We're getting through some injuries.
Getting past them.
Swanee's
thank God.
Back.
Swanee's back. Horner's back.
Talkman, you were saying Talkman's playing well?
Talkman's playing well. What
leadoff spot too.
Yeah. We had Horner hit that walk-off last night.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it was a little tapper, but,
And can I say something? Something that just brought to my mind? We have talked doom and gloom about this team for about a half hour now. Oh, the Brewers, they slump. Are we ever going to catch them? Oh, this team, will they ever go on a win streak? Oh, Kyle Hendricks, can you pitch well? We've been doom and gloom.
8-1.
We are losing 8-1. Trent Atcha did not jinx us. The over did hit. It was just the Cubs that gave the over to the Braves in this one. But here's my point. There is one thing I love about this team, that if this team makes the playoffs, and I think we will be in contention for a playoff spot. If this team makes the playoffs, Tim, there is one thing that I love about this team that will come in handy in the playoffs. When the chips are on the line and it is bottom of the ninth, extra innings, whatever it may be, this team doesn't back down. How many walk-offs have we had? How many late in the game, oh, it's a tight game and we need someone to step up? How many games have we had where it's like, hey, umps, we need you to help us out here? Yeah, Alonso was out at home. Yeah, I got to throw that at the Mets still because they gave us that game. But like we have had so many walk-offs and like where our backs are against the wall, to where I think that is a positive for us later in the series or later in the season, to where it's like this team is going to be a never back down team, to where even if they're losing in a game in the playoffs, don't count them out. And I love it. I absolutely love it about this Cubs team.
Yeah, no, and I like your enthusiasm. Just out of interest of contrarianism, I'd rather see them confidently winning teams. I'd rather see them destroying teams 18-4.
But that doesn't happen every day, and it's not going to happen in the playoffs.
But it's gonna.
Not in the playoffs. You get everyone's best in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. Come playoffs, I see them being much like they were in the 2016.
You said 2016?
Championship year playoffs. Watching a lot of pitches, trying to take a lot of walks, getting guys on base, and clutch hitting.
Do we care how they get on base?
We do not.
We do not.
No, we do not.
Guys, look at the scouting report. I'm going to point at Tim again.
You do not.
But it's just one thing I love about this team. And like, if we can get through, like, maybe this is it. Like, get through the injuries, Horner back, Swanson back. Yeah, you mentioned before the podcast, Seiya kind of slumping. Maybe that's because coming back from the injury. Maybe.
He's been slumping him for the past, like, 2 games. Mm-hmm. It's just something I've noticed.
Could be just the Braves.
And I like Seiya so much that I focus when he's at bat, you know? So it's like, it disappoints me when it's like, oh, God, come on, man.
You know what made me laugh? Are you counting tonight's game in those last 2 games?
I haven't been able to watch tonight's game as close.
Because if you were counting tonight in, I laughed because it's like, oh, he's been struggling. Yeah, he's gone up against Max Fried and Charlie Morton.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. That's a really good point.
2 of the best pitchers on the Braves.
Yeah.
just made me laugh.
Point for me.
Tim, I'm going to let you go first. I'll be gracious. So how we're going to do this is, let me look at the schedule because I got to... It's
we talking next 2 weeks?
Yeah. It's weird, folks. How we're doing this is a little weird. So we're recording on we're recording on Wednesday, but we already made predictions through Friday. No. Did we go through? Yeah, we went through Saturday because
we're going to do a little over a week.
1, 2,
we're going to do
3,
about
4, 5, 6, 7.
We're going to do about 17, 18 days.
Just wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. Yeah, so we did Saturday to Friday because the Saturday game is a 6:15 game. That would have been after we recorded. So our predictions here are going to be starting on Saturday with the second game of the St. Louis series. Because Thursday and Friday, we already did those predictions in the last podcast. Mm-hmm. So starting on the 25th, going all the way until the 8th. We will include the 8th because that's right around usually when we record or finish recording.
Correct.
So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games total, Tim. These next for the prediction.
Yes. So we're going to start out with a weekend sweep of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Ooh, weekend sweep? You say we're getting the sweepies? We getting the broomies out?
Yep, on the road.
On the road, which is big.
Unfortunately,
big.
That's going to lead us into 2 losses at the beginning of the series with Milwaukee, followed up by 2 wins. Coming back home against Cincinnati, we will lose the Friday game but win the rest of the weekend. Monday off game, home against the White Sox. Come on.
Yeah. Naturally.
Double wins there. Closing series. Oh, the last 3 out of 4 from Cincinnati. We're going to go win on Thursday, loss on Friday, and I'm going to give them the win on Saturday as well. So we will go until the 8th inning, or until the 8th of June. 1, 2, 3. Ten and 5?
10 and 5.
10 and 5.
That's off. There's only 14 games. So 10 and 4? 10 and 4 or 9 and 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, 8, I counted an extra win on, so 9 and 5.
9 and 5. So Tim's
you said started on the 25th, correct?
Yeah.
9 and 5, I got us going.
So not bad. I don't know if I'm going to be with you, and here's why. So, starting with that Saturday game, just aside, we're going to win on Friday. Shota's pitching. And first off, Mikolas has not been pitching that well.
Just an aside.
I'm going to say games 2 and 3 against the Cardinals. We'll win game 2. That's going to be Libator versus Teon. I think we get the win. Game 3, I'm giving us the loss. Sonny Gray is going to light us up on the mound. I like Sonny Gray. Assad's pitching for us. I think we go 2 of 1 against the Cardinals. And I'm going to count this
light
out.
him up.
I'm going to count this out so I get
light him up like a Roman candle, baby.
So 2-1 against the Cards. Then we play Milwaukee. This is interesting because the last time we played Milwaukee, I'm looking here, we played 3 games against them.
Won the series.
We won the series. The first game was a 3-1 Brewer win. The pitchers were Ross for them, Wisniewski for us. Game 2, 6-5 win. They threw Myers, we threw Tejon, and then a 5-0 win for the Cubs. They threw Freddie Peralta, we threw Assad. This series, game 1 right now is listed as Steele versus Gasser. I'm going to give them game 1. Then game 2, we have the mystery spot, the Hendricks mystery spot, going up against Peralta. I'm going to give us the win, even though I don't know who's starting. That's the big thing. Because we got to Peralta early. Yes, it was at Wrigley, but we got to Peralta early. I'm going to give us a win, 1-1. Then Shota versus Wilson, game 3. We're going to get the win. Shota wins. That's all he knows how to do. And then Tejon versus Ray. That'll be a good matchup. You know what? I say we go 3-1 against the Brewers. Maybe 2-2, but that last game, I'm going to side with us. Tejon.
Okay.
Tejon versus Rhea, R-E-A, however you pronounce it. Then we got Cincinnati. Assad versus Green. Hunter Green's kind of been a little wishy-washy this year.
Kid's got talent, though.
I'm going to say 2-1 against the Reds. I don't know which game we lose in there, but we got Assad pitching game 1. We got Steele Abbott. That might be the one we lose. And then Martinez has been struggling. He's on the mound for them game 3. Cubs, we don't know. That's the Hendricks spot. Then we don't know starters after that. So the White Sox, I'm going to say we sweep the White Sox because they suck. They are bad. They are bad. And now that I say that, they're probably going to sweep us. Then we got the 3 games against Cincinnati. Without knowing the starters, I'll say at Cincy. Oh, let's see. Let's see if I can map this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Steele's probably pitching game 1. So the White Sox series is probably going to be Tejon and Assad pitching for us. Steele's probably going to pitch game 1. That means game 2 is the Hendricks spot. Game 3, that Saturday, will be Shota. It really depends.
You gotta keep giving it to Shota, right?
I'm gonna say 2-1. The Steele game is the loss. Here's the thing.
You're pretty close to me.
Here's the thing. It all depends on who's in that Hendricks spot, because we've got in this stretch 1, 2, 3 games of the 14 are that Hendricks spot that we don't know who's pitching. We'll find out tomorrow, I guess. Tomorrow we'll find out who's in that spot, or who might be in that spot. But
what you're also doing is you're giving losses to starting pitchers because you haven't considered that Hendricks is in the bullpen.
Well, yeah, he is, but
so he's going to be helping these starting pitchers actually close out games and win them. It's not going to be giving them up.
Wait, my math is off. Why is my math off? That's why
I was 9-5. You got to be close to that.
My math is off because I think we go 2-1 against the Cards in total, but that first game is not there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got us at. So you had 9-5. I got 10-4. I got 10-4. Very quickly, just for the fun of it, we're not going to do this all the time, but since we brought it up, before we end, do you just want to take, not like a prediction look, but you want to take a look at the Brewers schedule during that time? See if maybe we do better than them?
Yeah, why not?
So the Brewers, I'll tell you this. So starting on Saturday, They start a series against Boston and Fenway. Boston's a weird team, man. They sometimes look good, but sometimes they look bad. Brewers win that series, right, in Fenway? The Brewers are the better team.
I don't know, Ricky. It's still early in the...
Yeah, but this is like 2 days. They're going to start the series in 2 days. They're the better team.
They're on the road, though, right?
Yes, they're at Fenway.
Who knows?
I mean, hey, on the road, they've only won one game.
I'm not that confident that that Milwaukee's that great of a team.
Okay. You think I'm overhyping them?
Yeah.
Okay. Then they play. Then, like I said,
not by much, but you know.
Then, like I say, they play 4 against us, which I had us going 3-1.
I have us going 2-2.
Okay.
Respectively.
Then they play 3 games against the White Sox after playing us.
We got 2 against the White Sox coming up.
Yeah. So they have 3, we have 2. Here's the big series that I think the Cubs can get a jump on. So between June 3rd and June 5th. So for us, we're playing, let's see, when does that?
We have the 3rd off.
Yeah. So basically by the series where we're playing the White Sox, our off day in the 2 White Sox games, guess who the Brewers have a 3-game series against? The Phillies in Philly. That's going to be rough. The Phillies are one of the they are one of the hottest teams in baseball.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the Phillies.
And I'm looking at our schedule. We see the Phillies in the 1st of July. So there's that payback.
So we see them in July is where we see them?
Yeah. That's a great point. That's a great place to jump them.
However, though, to end the week, we're playing Cincy going into the weekend. They're at Detroit, which Detroit is bad.
Detroit's garbage too, but they might be able to steal a win.
So really, it's like
it's very close. Very close.
Here's the 2 things.
It depends on that series that we have with them.
Yeah. Here's the 2 things of onus that I'm going to say.
Okay.
1, you mentioned it. We got to continue to win series against the Brewers. We have to continue that. As long as we do that, we'll be in good shape. The other thing, and this is in the Brewers' court, yet again, their last 6 games have all been on the road. They are 2. I misspoke earlier. They didn't get swept by Houston. They went 1-2. They've gone 1-2 their last 2 road series. So the series against Boston, the series against Philly, and then the series against Detroit. Do they slip up? Can we catch them while they're slipping up on the road? Because right now it looks like Milwaukee is struggling on the road, or it just could be a bad like road stretch that they overturn when they play us and the White Sox at home. Like that's the thing about baseball. You can have one bad stretch on the road, come home, then go out on the road again, and it's completely different.
Yeah, that's a very unpredictable sport.
I don't know your thoughts on that. It's 9-2.
The thoughts are the same as yours. It's like we always say. You have to wait and see. I think my thoughts are. I think we're going to come out of this next stretch here with a good winning record, make up for what we just did, and hopefully I'm right because we kind of need to be doing better than we're doing right now. I hope this is the low spot in our season.
Yeah. Last question for you, Tim.
Hit me.
Cubs, home and away record. What do you think we're better? Are we better at home or on the road?
Is this a trick question?
No, just take a guess.
Currently?
Yeah, currently. Are we better at home or on the road?
Well, it's the reason you're asking. I'm just gonna guess on the road, but
no,
one would think that at home is better.
We are 12-13 on the road and 15-9 at home. So right now the road has been our
12-13 on the road.
12-13 away.
Okay.
Whereas the Brewers are 12-9 at home, 16-12 on the road. They've played more road games than us. We've played more at home. That's kind of been also some weird things. I'm looking in the standings. Is it weird that the Reds are in last place, 8 games back, but they do not have the worst run differential in the division?
A little bit.
They are -9. The Cardinals and the Pirates, who are both tied at 23 and 26 right now as we're recording, The Pirates are minus 26 and the Cardinals are minus 43. Cubs are plus 9.
Baseball's weird, man.
We're probably going to actually plus 9. We're down by 7 now, so that's going to be plus 2 if the score holds. Because it's 9-2 now in the top of the 9th at Wrigley.
Yeah, currently. Well, hey, we're coming back, right?
We could, if we come back, we keep that run differential. But
who is pitching right now? Hodge?
And you could have told me your grandmother.
Yeah.
Anyone could be pitching right now. But that is going to do it for the Wrecking Crew. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. Coming at you early this week, we will be back to our scheduled time 2 weeks from Saturday. This upcoming Saturday. Happy Memorial Day to everyone out there. Hope you guys have your great barbecues and enjoy the 3-day weekend if you have one. But
drop in all your predictions for the next couple weeks too.
Exactly.
We'd like to compare all that. If anybody's right, we'll call them out as the winner, and you'll get 50% of the podcast, all the revenue.
Tim has no stake to say that. We will definitely shout you out. I don't know about giving away our revenue, Tim.
We'll talk about it. Trust me.
Not going to work. But yeah, comment down below. Give your predictions. Like button, subscribe button. Hit those as well. Discord's down below. Patreon is down below. You can support us. Become a fan. Watch us live, as the patrons can do each and every time we're live for podcasts. But thank you guys for everything you do, Tim. Thank you for being one of the best co-hosts around, buddy.
Oh, thanks, bud.
And as always, have a good day, everybody. As always, we'd like to thank the people that make these videos possible, our patrons whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and click the Patreon icon in the bottom right. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Sports, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.